Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Hey, BTS Trap TV. Hey, Emmanuel. Can you guys hear me? Hey, Jill's conference zone. Trying to see if y'all can hear me. Okay. Well, today is Sunday, May the 4th, and it's my birthday. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. Okay, y'all can hear me? Okay, good. I haven't been on in a couple of days, and it's been a lot of stuff going on YouTube. Hey, Don Play. Hey, Room Shaker. Um, it's been a lot of stuff going on YouTube. I've been mainly over in the Mo3 beef sector, because they're trying to get down to the bottom of the Duck and Nurse K situation. And we'll discuss that before I go off. The first thing I want to talk about is, Diddy's trial start tomorrow, and they're doing a jury selection. I don't know how long that will take for them to complete that process, but I'm sure it'll at least probably take a good at least a week, to get through, to get 12 people. You know, it's a high profile case. I don't know how long it'll last. Um, I've kind of been standoffish back on it because I don't want to get my mind littered. I want to hear everything that's like going on. Well, I won't be there for every minute of the trial, but I'm going to be there, for the main parts. Okay. I will be reporting on it, what's going on. Uh, just like I did the Young Thug trial. Um, and we'll see. We're gonna see if he's guilty or if he's not guilty. You know, um, that's all I got to say about that. Okay. Saturday, Lady Gaga had a concert, and it was like over 2 million people there. It was a free concert, and it was in at the Copacabana Beach in Rio de Janeiro. Um, and they said that like the revenue that came into to the Brazil was $100 million, $100 million, because people came from the United States, a whole lot of places, and flew over there. So the airlines made a lot of money. The from people coming from all over the world. The motels made a lot of money. The restaurants made a lot of money. Just a lot of money went into that city, and you know, from that free concert. And they did one like last year in 2024. Madonna was there, and she had 1.6 million, on the beach at the concert. And that's pretty neat. Now, that's a lot of money coming in. And I wonder what Lady Gaga got paid. You know, that's a lot of money. But it's good that they have like big artists to come for their people to see, like big stars from America for free concerts. That's not a bad deal, honey. That's good that they Brazil pay, treat the people to that, every once in a while. They also said there was like 5,000 police. They had a big police presence there, over 5,000 police. And they also say they had drones, flying over, for security. And they also had that facial recognition um, software, like scanning the crowd and stuff. And and you had to go through like metal detectors before you could get onto the beach, to be at the concert. So, as far as I know, it went off smooth, but I have my ear out because Saturday was just yesterday, So, but I haven't heard anything bad so far. But I'll be looking around and see if, I'm sure it went pretty smooth because it wasn't nothing on the world news. So I thought that was pretty neat that Brazil, you know, treat their country people to a free concert. Okay. Now the last place I went to this morning was Big Lax. And now that's after I left Bimps, but I'm gonna talk about Lax first. Um, some of the crowd came over to Big Lax, and Mink was on the panel. It was Mob Ties. He was on the panel, and Mink called me up there to come up there. And so she said she had something that she wanted to ask me when I got up there. And then she said, well, I don't want you to get mad. I say, ask me anything you want to ask me. Either I'll answer the question or either I don't. Either I don't want to answer the question, because can't nobody make me answer and can't nobody make me not answer, you know. So it was concerning the duck and, that situation. And I just told her, I think everybody grown, grown folks do what grown folks do, and some men are, they'll, do it, have sex with random women. It happens. You know, um, it's not a crime, what they did. They both was grown. She jumped in her car and drove 3 hours, and from what I hear, it wasn't very much entertainment. It was like 3 minutes. And hopefully it was more than 3 minutes, because I would have been really pissed off. But they said it was at an empty apartment, and they did it on the floor. And then she had to get back in the car and go drive 3 hours back to whatever state she lived in, because I don't know and I don't care. Um, Now Mink have said that she sent her there to do what they did, but I don't know. But she said that she sent her there to do it, so I have to just believe what she said. And I'm not gullible enough And I can't be never have been and never will be gullible enough where anybody could talk me into doing something like that. You know, can't nobody talk me into going to have sex with somebody. Period. Now, I have been pressured by guys, that be wanting to get some, that'll tell you anything and like put the pressure on you. But it's always your decision whether you're gonna say yay or whether you're gonna say nay. But as far as a third party talking me into doing something like that, nah. And plus, I don't need a third party to do anything for me. You know, I know how to approach a man. And from what I understand, her and Duck was, texting back and forth because she chose to text. Me showed text, so they had contact. You know, so I don't need nobody to help me do nothing like that. So I don't understand that. And then, which I told said up there with me on Lack's panel because, Lack asked me, what did I think about it? And I said that, how it came out on the streets, you know, a third party should never have to put nothing out like that. That was between Duck and Nurse K. Either one of them could have told it. And I can see that because sometimes people, they want to know, let the world know they had sex with this other person. But for another person to do it, I wouldn't have liked that very much if that was my friend, supposedly, which I don't think really people on YouTube are friends because they don't know each other and all of that. But we got a lot of people that call each other sisters and brothers and all of that and see Duck and Nurse K. I guess they was playing like that. I didn't know they considered each other sisters and shit. And he had texted her that he didn't want to be, he didn't want her to be his sister no more. Now, when you a little kid, like when my brothers and sisters, sometimes I would tell them, I don't want you to be my sister. I ain't your sister no more. But that's real brothers and sisters. And you gonna always be brothers and sisters. But calling these people on YouTube, your brother, your sister, your daddy, your auntie, I ain't never got along with that shit. I don't understand it. I think it's weird. And people don't know each other like that on here. I don't love none of these people on here. And I know they don't love me. And I don't want nobody telling me no shit like that. But I hear a lot of that shit running around on YouTube. I don't get it. Okay. Um, I don't think this worked out the way they thought it was gonna work out. I think they thought that Jackie was gonna quit talking to Duck because that's all they doing. They ain't had no sex yet. They be flirting and stuff and sitting on the panel together, but from what they've been saying on YouTube, Duck and Jackie, they haven't met up they haven't met up. And both of them grown. She got a car and he got transportation. If he wanted to see Jackie that bad, he would get to Texas. And if Jackie wanted to see Duck that bad, she would get her ass to Arkansas. It's not that serious, evidently. And then I don't see nothing wrong with them taking their time and getting to know each other like on the phone and stuff. You don't want to go too fast, jump too fast and stuff. Make a nigga wait. And I like seeing that. Don't be so thirsty. Uh, you know. But we've seen people that do that, in your regular life and stuff. And like I said, I don't understand the internet dating. I have never participated in it, and I'm not gonna participate in it. But I don't knock people that do it. Okay, because people have always did this computer stuff. Before the computer, people was doing it over the phone on those, hotlines calling, like that. And before that, they wrote letters. Before the phones came, they wrote letters. And shit like that, or sending people messages through people to to your, the guy you like or the lady you like. So if it's a will, it's a way. You know, if it's somebody that you're really interested in and they're interested in you, there's a way for you to communicate. And you don't need no whole bunch of people up in the business and stuff. Um, like if it was me and if it was one of my friend girls that knew I'd had sex with somebody, we just say like in my hometown. If my girlfriend, if she told something like that on me, I would really be through with her because that ain't none of your business to be telling who I lay up with. You know, and some people talk to their girlfriends about things like that. I know I used to. We tell each other stuff, but it wasn't for my friend to go out and tell what I told them regarding a situation like that, and it's not my place to tell on her. That'll go to the grave with me. You know what I'm saying? It's some things when you got a friend you just don't do. And like I have one friend that died about a year ago. My secrets that I have told her, they are safe because she never told anybody and shit ain't come out since she been passed. And her secrets are gonna go to my grave. Even though she's gone, secrets that she told me will never cross my lips. It's to the grave. But she took mine to the grave and I'm taking hers to the grave. And I have other friends like that. Now that's what you call having a friend. They don't hear my business out in my area. Because I know I would know who it came from. And that never happened with us. So that's what you call a true friend. Okay? So, and not on my watch came on the panel and she told me that she like used to like me. I don't know if she still do or not, which I don't really care, but okay. But she didn't like what I said on Duck panel regarding the Chanel situation. And what she didn't like is me saying to Duck on his panel that Chanel should have taken those videos down where it's showing that she's splurging and stuff. Like buying the $1,900 wash and dryer, spending $900 at Walmart or either Sam's Club, and all of that bullshit. But I was saying it. I'm not going to explain about it, but I'm just saying the reason I said it was, damn bitch, if you didn't charge you with stealing this old woman money, and you showed yourself spending money ever since uh, uh January. Was that woman money you was spending? The reason I said to get rid of them damn video is because that might be evidence that could be used against you. But you can leave that shit up, it don't matter to me. But I'm gonna never put the shit up. It is what it is. And so my watch didn't like my commentary concerning that, and I'm assuming that's what Mink was talking about too, but she just didn't tell me. And not on my watch came up there and said it. But like I said, I tell both sides of the story if I know them. I try to go to be nosy and moving around out here in the YouTube streets and see both sides of the story. Just like with the Duck and the Nurse K situation. I heard about it. I went to Duck's. I've been going to him, which I was going to him before this came out, and I was going to Nurse K before this came out. But when they went live, when this situation got exposed, I mean publicly, where everybody talking about it on YouTube, I went to his live and I went to her live, and I listened to both sides of it. Okay. And plus, I thought it was another lady. I didn't find out it was actually Nurse K until the other day when everybody else found out. Because I was thinking it was somebody else. But that's beside the point. And sometimes you could be wrong. That's why you need to keep your mouth shut and just observe. Well, since we're talking about that, Nurse K, I heard she had been live, and I went over to her live, and she was very upset. And her live was about 2.5 hours long. She was saying that Duck was lying on her. She was showing text messages. Um, she was explaining it from her point of view, and she had a big crowd. I was at Ducks. I listened to what he was saying, you know, listen to his point of view. And like I said, I ain't got a dog in the fight. Grown folks do what grown folks do. I don't think this situation turned out like Nurse K and Mink thought it would have. I think they thought it was going to cause a big rift between Jackie and Duck, which it didn't. Okay, when the stuff first started trickling out on the YouTube streets, now Jackie, that's when she was kind of pissed. Now I could tell it on the panels, but this been like over a month ago. Over like 2 months ago, it was friction between her and Duck, and there's been friction like from 2024. Okay, there was friction between them. Sometimes they would get into it on the panel, and they would talk. Sometimes they wouldn't talk to each other on the panel. That's when That's when it was hidden, Jackie. That there's some shit going on, but I don't know what the fuck it is. But something ain't right, and this bitch is speaking with me that I ain't did nothing to. You know, it is what it is. Well, see, Jackie already got through that mask part. So the shit that came out a couple of days ago, she had already figured all that out. She probably didn't know who it was, but like I said, the shit was out there on the streets, little dribbles and stuff. Every once in a while, when you be in Broadways, somebody would come in the chat or troll put something, or you be over at Ducks, somebody coming in and put something in the chat. That kind of childish shit. Okay. So when the shit blowed up the other day on YouTube, it didn't go like they thought it was gonna go. It didn't go like they thought Jackie was gonna just be through with Duck. It didn't go like that. Because the rough patch is over. So now they just standing together and saying we still cool. You know. And I don't think that made people happy. And then they throwing up another thing. Now that since that didn't work, they're throwing up that Duck did Broadway wrong by messing with Nurse K. When Nurse K in Broadway, now I don't know what kind of relationship they had, but I know there was some emotions involved. But as far as being physical, I don't know if they did that. And that ain't my thing. Well, they thinking that Duck was wrong for messing with the girl. But like I told Lex, see, I got brothers. And my brothers was doggish and they was hoish, okay? And they had a thing that they would do. Sometimes, my brothers, they mess with a girl for a while and the younger brother would come through and try to get her. Some women fell for it and some women didn't. But through it all, they remained brothers and they remained dogs. Okay? The only thing that was hands off between them, my brothers, was somebody that they really, really, really liked. And they didn't bother them. But like on them flings, the girls that they just would carry around every once in a while and stuff like that, between the brothers, they was fair game. And then they would talk about it. And then they would settle this shit how they needed to. But now, but every one of them I knew that they did that too. Didn't neither one my brothers didn't want to have nothing to do with the girls anymore. Okay, now that's just the way my brothers did it. And they was some whore dogs. And the girls that fell for it, they called them skunks. They skunks. And see, when I was a young girl, I would hear them talking and how they would refer to the ladies being skunks. And so that's how I knew what a skunk was. Okay. Now that's just, like I said, I got brothers. I seen them do that kind of shit. So what Duck doing, he might do it again. You know, I'm not a brother, but I know what my brothers did. And I'm sure they're not the only brothers that do that. It's sisters that do shit like that. It's some over here on YouTube that have done that. And it comes up every once in a while when they get pissed off at each other. It's a set of twins on here that happened to. When they get into it, every once in a while on here, that'll come up as something they did when they was younger. And now when people drag them, they throw that's another bullet that the people have on them. Like if I get into it with one of them, you think they ain't gonna use that bullet on them all? Because I know that'll bother them. Okay? So that kind of shit happens. Now I ain't never went with none of my brothers and sisters, you know, none that belong to them or used to or might like, but it's an age difference with us too. You know, like my sister, the one that's closer to my age, it's a 10-year gap between us. Well, hell, I ain't gonna want to go by nobody 10 years older than me. So all the men was out. So I didn't have to deal with that. And then my sisters, when they was like 2 years apart, I never heard of them dating each other boyfriends or each other's booty calls or whatever. That was just a hands out. But some people don't feel like that. They don't have the barriers that you might have or I might have. You know. So it is what it is. Let me see. Now, wait a minute. Okay, now I'm through talking about that, and I'm gonna go to another live. Now, something I found out the other day, in the Mo3 beef sector, that Isha is not having her uh, meet and greet, and she's not having her passion party. And the reason is her son, the little baby, he's have to have surgery. So I don't know when they're gonna reschedule it or anything like that. I'm just letting y'all know that. Okay. Let me go down, 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 down. Look at my notes. Okay. Now, child, Bimps was a goddamn mess last night. Okay. A lot of people hit the panel. It was on and popping at Bimps. He always have a good show. And he had another good show last night, child. Let me go down here and get to my notes on Bimp. Okay, now this is the people that were on the panel throughout the night. It was, and Bimp, he got 1,000 in that chat. It was over 1,000 in the chat, and he held that 1,000 for hours. Okay, that's how good that lab was. Okay, Tia, who is the hell you mean? She was bought down, and then they bought her back up, and they put an extra 50 with it. So if she would have got bought down again, it would have been $100. Um, Cooling got bought down. OG Bobby Johnson got bought down, and WAP got bought down, and WAP didn't get to say but about 3 or 4 words. He got bought down. Okay, wait a minute. And the people that made appearances on the panel last night was Duck, Jackie, Swedish Brown, Mink, CB, Big Lack, and Sean G. Now he's in prison, but Mink was calling him on the phone. And whatever phone he had, we could see his face for a while. Okay, now Sean G, um, OG Bobby Johnson, Duke Pharaoh, WAP. They say DG was there. I must have missed that part. The hell you mean? You know, it was a packed house. Okay, and CB and Coolin got into it, and they was going for blood. Okay, they was into it real bad. Now Coolin sound like she had been drinking, and CB was drinking. Um, she say she was drinking beer, and then later on, when somebody would say something about her drinking, she would say, "How you know I'm drinking?" And they would say, "You told us you was drinking." And plus, she went to the store while she was on the panel, and you could hear her. I'm gonna say with allegedly opening beers throughout the live. But if she want to say it was soda, it was opening soda. It was something in a can, okay, that she was drinking. Um, um, Meek was calling, okay, like several times on the live. When you're locked up, your call can only be so long, and then they say you have 1 minute left and all that kind of shit. Well, we heard that several times because like Sean G and Meek talked several times on that live, and it was something. I guess she wanted him to tell Callie Kitchen, but I don't think he ever got to say it. Or if he did, I missed it. Um, Mink was she had like the first time I noticed her calling Sean G. She had been calling him on her live earlier because see, Bip came on at night, but Mink had went live in the daytime, and I went to her live, and she was calling him on. They was talking on the phone on Sean G. But then it carried over to Bimps. So I don't know if she was on other panels, and they was communicating on the phone or not. I don't know, but I don't know I don't know if she was wanting him to tell Callie he didn't want her no more, or I don't know what the fuck was going on. Okay, I'm just gonna be uh honest about that. But one thing I just want to say, Mink, this is to Mink, and she can get mad if she want to. I don't give a fuck. Okay, but you gonna run him off if you keep putting pressure on him about this shit on YouTube about women. He ain't gonna want to hear that. When he get out, he ain't gonna want to come on here and say you my woman or Callie, I don't want you no more, and or whoever else he used to mess around with on YouTube. See, I don't know. I don't have a clue, but I know he was a hot item. Some women liked him before he got locked up. And plus, he got now I don't know if the young lady that he was living with, she was pregnant when he went to prison. Okay. I don't know if she his wife or if she was just his old lady. I don't know. I don't know if him and that lady still together, but they seem to have a good relationship. You know, she was a really cute girl too. Really cute. Um, and I'm sure he'll want to if he is still with that young lady. he's gonna go there first. He's gonna want to spend time with his child. Because he'd been locked up and locked up since the baby was in the womb. I know he's gonna want to see that woman and that kid. You know. So I think that just the pressure, if you're hounding him about this shit on YouTube, that's gonna lead to a problem. Cause see, like that girl that he had, she didn't get him problems like that. You know, she was pretty laid back when they would be live. You know, and it don't seem like she was a jealous type because 88 used to go by their house and all that kind of stuff. And I seen that. And Sean G used to keep 88 little boy and all that kind of shit. But they fell out before he went to prison. So I don't know how that's gonna work, but we'll see. I don't know if he's coming back to YouTube. He looked good. I think his face was really still fat like it was. But I didn't get to see his body. So I don't know if he gained weight body wise or not, but he wasn't a bad looking guy. He's not, to me, not a bad looking guy. Um, I want to see him when he get out if he come online on YouTube because I was subscribed to him before he left. So I'm sure I'll get his notification. I'll go and make sure that I'm still subscribed, but I'm still subscribed to him. But I used to enjoy his morning show. It was something to do. I used to go by there in the morning, you know, and I'm glad he's through this time. Um, Allegedly, like he was supposed to have been out, because Gina and him, they was all supposed to be going to some kind of baseball game, a professional baseball game. And then Gina is the reason that it got out on the YouTube streets that he wasn't getting out right then. I don't know what happened, why the date was changed. It ain't none of my business, you know. Um, so they kept him longer. I think it's going to be like a week or two from the gossip that's out on the YouTube lane. Okay. Um, as Swedish Brown, she got into it with Cooling. Cooling was just swinging on people last night, but she got bought down. When she got bought down, I think she tried to come back up, like when Sean G had called one of the time. But see, she couldn't come back up on the panel because somebody had bought her down. And she wanted to know that she had a question because she was wanting DG to hit the panel and he didn't hit it. But she wanted to know, do they have a problem or do they not have a problem? Because she said that on some of his lives, he's like go against her. I don't know if he dragging her or what, but then on other lives, he'd be nice to her, you know. But she wanted to know if they had a problem. But like I said, he never did hit the panel because I was there to the end of the live. And it also came up on that live on Bim's Live about people over in the Mo3 sector that has been getting strikes. They say the captain got struck, transfer talk got struck, and cooling got struck. Now I don't know what they was for or anything, but that's what they were discussing last night. Um, I don't know if anybody else over in the Mo got struck, but I tell you this here in the beef sector, I heard Pizarro got struck. And Pizarro, I can't tell you the last time that she said something about being struck. And then the person that now Tracy did a live yesterday, and on her live audio was saying he did it to Pizarro, and he was saying that he do it again, and again and again. That's what he was saying, and I was saying, well, yeah, audio was saying he did it. Now we finna start talking. We getting ready to talk about Tracy live. So since I brought up that audio, when she went live, because she had audio name in the title, and what Teresa was saying for her not to hear, audio said he didn't want Teresa to hear his lick no more. Don't you bring your black ass back over here in so many words. Been over here before, but you ain't getting back up on my panel. Okay. And I was saying, what? Well, I guess he told drop the link because I wasn't watching the chat. Uh, he wound up hitting the panel at Teresa's. And Teresa was telling him, you don't have to worry about me coming over there. You ain't got to say that for one time. But let me tell you this, and he was saying, well, when you be talking to my ops, she was saying, I don't know nothing about your ops. Because we don't know. Well, if you talk to my ops, you don't need to talk to me. Nigga, you ain't got it like that. Don't nobody owe you that kind of shit over loyalty over in the goddamn beef sector. You got this shit fucked up. Okay? Nigga, don't nobody know you. Teresa don't know you, nigga. They giving you a chance. We giving you a chance. Now, see, I've been watching your little ass ever since you've been over here. This is me talking to you. I've been watching your little ass moving around over in the beef sector. Okay? And you've been getting J Dunn fist, but that between y'all. But you can't gonna be cutting over in the goddamn beef sector telling people that you don't like them because they like your ops. We don't know that man that came over there, that white man that was telling your business. We don't know that white man, and we don't know you. We don't know if that white man racist. We don't know if there's not a white man but a Mexican. We don't know what the hell he is. I want to hear him talk about the situation, y'all issue, and we done heard you talk about it. Okay, we done heard you. We want to hear some shit from him so we can make our own goddamn mind up. And you got a lot of support from the beef sector because, like I said, as soon as I seen you moving around, I went and subscribed to you immediately. You know, as soon as J Dunn was hollering about about her sex machine and you, as soon as I found out about that, I went and subscribed to your ass. And everybody else from the beef sector did too. That's how you got your 1,000, nigga. Well, it could be taken away. Just like you say you struck Pizarro, young man. The same thing can happen to you. You can be right here. Or the people can just say, fuck you and unsubscribe. And you be right back down to that 400 you had when you came over in this motherfucker. That's how this works. Okay? Don't nobody owe you no loyalty code. Don't nobody know you. You wasn't a subscriber. You wasn't a subscriber that turned into a content creator or anything like that. Yeah. Hold up. My daughter calling. I'm gonna put y'all on mute for a second. Okay, I'm back. Thank y'all. That was my daughter. Let me go speak to some more people. Okay. But yeah, that auto guy, honey, he a trip. But I'm not gonna unsubscribe right now. I'll give him a couple of more strikes. Okay. I'm being fair. Okay, I'm trying to go up. All right. Just a second. Hey, guys, girl. Hey, Glow Glow. Hey, a clicking of you. Hey, melanated agenda. Are you okay? Girl, you had me laughing on the panel last night. Are you okay? That's what she say. Hey, Lady Dimples. And Dimples, that was nice of you, what you did for Otto regarding the article. See, I missed that because I've been over in the motor sector thugging. But thank you for clearing that up with that young man because that's not a good thing. You know, somebody put out a bad information and you being the investigator that you are that dig into shit to see if this shit real. You did a good job and I want to thank you for that. Even though he's a little young, hot-headed, you know, that you can't tell shit, you did him solid. You really did, Dimple. Showing that that article was fake. Okay? Hey, the Bushes. Hey, Lee Pepper. Yeah, Dimples, honey, she dug into that stuff. She wanted to know if it was real or not, and it was fake. Okay. Hey, Madison. Hey, Rose, coming at you. Hey, Mo. Hey, CEO, little boss lady. Hey, Steven. Hey, Melanated Jim. Hey, Jaya. Hey, Monique. Hey, LaKendra. Hey, Sincere. Hey, Aries Oasis. Hey, Trojan. Hey, you ain't nothing but a born dog. Howling all the time. Oh, Lord, I love saying that. Hey, Cynthia. You ain't nothing but a born dog. Howling all the time. Hey, wait a minute. Let me make sure I get this name right. Cause hey, sadly mistaken. Sometimes it's a little line thing on my when I'm going up and down, and sometimes it distort the name. Hey, 2300 Jackson Street is always home. Lee Pepper, I don't know if I spoke to you, and if I didn't, hey, Lee Pepper. Hey, Michelle. Hey, LaShakila. Shakila. Okay. Hey, Nicey. I think that's everybody, child. Hey, Midnight Star. Wait a minute. Midnight Star. The Beef Sector Podcast. I think that's everybody. Go up one more. Hey, Jay Parrish. See there, I almost missed you again. Out. See there? Got to be more careful. Jay Parrish be in here, but sometimes I forget Jay Parrish for some reason. And I don't like that when I do that. When I go back and look and see if I spoke to everybody when the live over, I miss Jay Parrish a lot. And I almost missed Jay Parrish that time. Okay. All right. So I've spoken. So now I'm getting ready to get back to what I was talking about. Well, what happened was they were saying that the audio polo, but I be calling them audio. Okay, I don't put the last part with it. But they were saying it was an issue with him, like with like statutory RAPE, but evidently that wasn't the truth. And somebody put an article out, and then, like I say, Dimples investigated, and she found out that he wasn't that person. They just somebody put his picture on the article, but the article actually was about somebody else. They do shit like that in these sectors. Okay, when they trying to like, smear you, when people don't like do like Dimples, like dig in it and see if this is real. Now I'm gonna tell you something else. Like over there in the Mo3 sector, they had put out an article on Chanel and her husband, and they put their pictures in it. Come to find out that wasn't them. The original article was two totally different people. But see, people doctor up shit in these sectors. That's what you call a fake receipt, okay? They either add to or take things out. And like if you don't do like for me, like as far as that little young man Otto, I would have never thought to go and try to dig to see if this was really him. I ain't got time for that. But we do have people in the different sectors that do dig, and they want to see if this actually him or her, and that's what they do. And see, Dimples Dimples wanted to see for herself if this guy really did this, or if this guy didn't do this, because he's saying he didn't, but they saying he did. Well, she wanted to know if that was really him, and that's why she dug in it to see if this was the right person. But see, some people have too much time on their hand to want to make the person look bad on here. And see, that's when they make up stuff like that. And once you do something like that, I ain't going to never trust you. I ain't got time for you. Because you ought to have better things to do with your life than have a posse to come out over a lie. So that what was going on with him. But then, like I said, when I looked at Tracy, and he was like questioning her about listening to the ops and this and that, and Tracy was saying, I do what I want to do. You can't tell me what to do. But she was nice. So you might be a booger bear. But evidently you're not a little big booger bear, because they say they ran you out of that other sector. Where that man is that you got mad because people listen to his side. And see, I didn't even look at Jay Duns to look at that interview. So I don't know. But it's your job to clear. Really, it wasn't Dimple's job, but Dimples was nice. And another thing, okay, now, Otto, like I said, you haven't been in the beef sector 2 weeks. You've also put your loyalty out for Ness. You've made that very clear. Ness don't get along with a lot of people on YouTube. So you gonna get along with the whole beef sector that don't like her? Huh? Is that what you're gonna do, young man? You gonna have a long road to hoe in the beef sector. You need to keep your lips zipped, and don't be telling nobody who they can listen to and who they can't listen to, because everybody grown. This is an adult area, so you ain't nobody daddy, and you young enough to be a lot of our sons over here, our grandson, young man. Okay, so you need to pipe that shit down, because like nigga, like I said, nigga, we don't know you, and we giving you a chance because you know they wanted your ass out of the beef sector before you even step your foot in the beef sector. And you can't come up in here telling nobody what to do. That's been here. I've been here before it began. And Tracy have too. So how the hell you gonna tell somebody? We don't give a fuck who your ops is. We don't give a fuck who each other ops is. So nigga, you think we gonna care about what you? We ain't caring nothing about that. We ain't wanna hear that. And quit acting like a little baby and a pussy. Quit whining like a hoe. Hell, all that whining and shit. You said you wanted all the smoke. You ain't even got no smoke from the beef sector yet. The little bit you got, you about to have a goddamn heart attack on. And you said you wanted all the smoke. It ain't a third. You ain't got 1% of the smoke, and you already whining like a hoe. Nigga, you ain't got your little toe wet up in this bitch. You ain't earned no stripes over here. Now you did body ZX, and you did body Ken, but Ken's still running after you. He's still dragging you. You didn't scare. Shut the hell up and fight. You said you wanted it. Okay. Damn. But I believe his little ass went against, tried to call himself bristle up the trees cause a nest. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how these ass kissers do. But Ness got a crew of ass kissers over there. And he's just another one of them. Okay. He said he loyal to her. He like kissing swamp donkey, funky ass. Okay. Ooh, child. Ooh, child. He like kissing swamp donkey, funky ass. Ooh, child. Let me get back to talking about what happened to Tracy. Okay. Now, Dory was on the panel. Rodney was on the panel. Audio. Dory. Kiki cat up there. It was several people up there. And Uppity wound up coming up there. Pizarro wound up coming up there. It was on and popping, okay? Diva Tomboyish was up there. Dory and Kiki got into it. They don't like each other because she's with Kiki ex-husband. Dory is with Kiki ex-husband. And so those two clashed every time they on a panel together. And they clashed. And then another argument that happened was Kiki and Pizarro. Now, when Kiki was up there the whole time she was up on the panel, Pizarro was throwing shots at her. And she was throwing shots back at Pizarro, but it was, it wasn't a whole lot. And Pizarro kept throwing shots, and Kiki every once in a while she'd strike back, but and then sometimes she would, And so when Tracy kind of cleared the panel off, then Kiki told Pizarro, you got, bring your ass up here so we can settle this shit in so many words. And you talking about dragging each other. And I didn't get to the end of Tracy Live because while I was watching it, catching up on lives I missed, Room Shaker was live. I seen she was live, so I ran over there to see what she was talking about. And then I left there and I came and went live. Uh, like I said, I don't know how long that Pizarro and Kiki, their dispute had happened on Tracy panel, but I think her live had about an hour left. So I'm gonna go watch the end of that. But I just, I'm, trying to catch up on some B6 stuff, and I've just been moving around, but I've mainly been in the Mo3 beef sector because, I'm interested in that story. And plus, I got tired over here again because the beef sector started talking about money, who giving who what, and questioning people about what they're doing with their damn money. I'm totally against that. People grown, they can do what the hell they want to do with the money. Just because a person get this one 1,000, they ain't got to get the next one 1,000. Or just because you gave this one $10, that don't mean you got to give everybody $10. I don't get it. Question these folks about their money. Since you gave that one this, you got to give me this. No, it don't go like life don't go like that. Or I might just have $10 to get it. I may not have no $10 to get nobody else. But I ain't got to explain to you why I gave it to this person. That's silly. And it don't look good. It's not a good look, it's not a good look at all. But if the subscribers want to be treated like that, that's on them. It don't mean I got to like it. It don't mean I got to go along with it. What it means is I can come over here and say what I'm saying right now. I don't like this. And I'd be damned if you tell me, if I say I'm gonna give Lemon $1,000, it ain't none of your damn business. And plus, the lady that's giving the $1,000 is for the talent contest. Lemon is not gonna get that money. That's going to the contestants, that whoever wins. And Lemon matched that with his own money too. So so there's $2,000 for the contest. Now the lady have given Lemon $500. So right now he got like $1,500 in the pot. When she give her other $500, that's gonna be the $1,000. And then like people have been donating to the pot to make it bigger. The other night now on the live that I seen on Lemons, I don't know if it was his last live or not, but the last live I seen, the pot, the last I seen how much the pot was at that time was $2,300. That's how much he had. Now, by the time the live got over, I don't know how much the whole pot was, but like the last amount I know that's for this contest is $2,300. But see, we got a lot of days left before we get to the contest. The contest allegedly is going to be May the 30th or May the 31st. I don't know which one, but it's one of them days. So hell, the pot, we don't know how much the pot going to be. And I think, see, like I said, for them to get this lady such a hard time, TSW, the money's not going to Lemon. It's going to the contest. So it's not like she gave Lemon $1,000. But if she wanted to give him $1,000, that's her goddamn business. I don't get it. So, the streets have been really, a lot of people been talking about it over here. Because like when I come over here and look in different, when I'm catching up on lives, or when I can drop in a live, like sometimes I'll be over YouTube cameras early, they're discussing it. The shit being discussed on panels. But and then, like I said, if you watch some of these lives, you see the people that are donating to different channels, They're being questioned about it. They're being grilled on the panels. And I don't agree with that. You know, I don't agree with that at all. And that's just me. Okay. So, when like I said, when I left Teresa Lab and went to Room Shakers, Pizarro and Kiki was dragging each other back and forth. And I mean, they was dragging. And Teresa was trying to calm it down, but one of them sisters was going at each other. So I'm going to watch the rest of that. Okay. Now, when I went over to Room Shakers, she was dragging CB. And see, her and CB got into it last night at Bimp's. So like I said, Bimp had a hell of a live. And QB, like Room Shaker was, when she hit the pound, QB, CB was already up there. And so Room Shaker spoke and, just chilled and was, having a talk with the other people on the panel. Well, CB said that she didn't like fake people, and she turned to Room Shaker and was saying like she was fake. And it went from there. Okay? And Room Shaker was saying, why am I fake? Because I don't want to fuck with you no more. I don't want to be your friend. You know? And if I'm so fake, why was you trying to come to Chicago to see me? And all of that. And then one word led to the other. And then CB started talking about how she was going to kick Room Shaker ass. And I was saying, oh, no, she did. And then she would be saying some more shit. Okay? And then it would get escalated to the next level. Now, you come at me, I'm going to do what I got to do to you. You know? And my aim ain't bad. And all that kind of bullshit. And CB was talking about how she done whooped her sisters and I whooped my sister's ass. What you think I'm going to do to you, Room Shaker? Okay. And Room Shaker was saying, bitch, please, try it. My mama didn't whoop my ass and my daddy didn't whoop my ass. Don't you think I'm going to let you whoop my ass? And all of that kind of shit. Y'all got to go over there and look at Bim's child. Now, I don't know if I shared him because I normally do, but I don't know if I did. Like when I be on these different moving around on YouTube, I try to remember to share the lives. So if you're interested, you can move around or find new content creators and stuff like that. Okay. Um, and Room Shaker, like I said, they did get into it at Bimps. And then like when Room Shaker went live this morning, that she was discussing that. And I stayed to almost the end of her live because she said that she gave an hour of commentary. And that, she was, I'm getting ready to get up out of here. And so when she said that, that's when I came and went live. Okay, now this is the next subject. Um, Janet, Empress Janet, she popped up in my stream. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And she said that Rod Brack and her will be doing a show together Monday. Well, I was saying, because I know he's supposed to be getting out soon, but I can't remember the date. Because you remember I did say it before, but I erased it off my notepad, and I should have kept it. But I knew it was at the beginning of May. Okay, so for them to be showing, doing a show together, like in person together, I figured that she's getting ready to fly back out to California to see him, and that's when they're gonna do their show together. You know, to as a welcome back. So I'm thinking that she probably gonna fly out there today or either yesterday. She might have left Friday. Friday. I don't know when she left, but she seemed really excited, and I'm happy for her if that's what she wants. And hopefully it'll work out this time. Good luck, Janet, and good luck, Rob. Okay, and I left there, and then I was moving around all over the YouTube, This morning I seen Rick Reed that went live. And of course, he's still dragging the hell out of Heidi. Okay. All right. And now, okay, that's all I'm gonna say about Rick. Um, Cam and Duck had an altercation. Cam was talking about now. This is Cam Lab. I heard about it in the streets. So I had to run over there to see it for myself. Um, I heard that Cam and Duck had got into it. No, I didn't. I was at Duck's, and he was pissed off when I got over there. And so I redballed it back to see what the hell he was pissed off and where he get into it at out on the YouTube lane. Well, it was Cam. He got into it over there with Cam. And so Duck was dragging the hell out of Cam. Well, I ran over there while Duck was still alive. I just wanted to see what the hell led up to them getting into it. Well, what led up to them getting into it was Cam was doing commentary on Duck and Nurse K situation. And something he said that Duck didn't, when Duck hit the panel, he wanted to clear up, hey, this didn't happen. I want to tell you, you said something, but that's not how it happened. This is, then he started saying what actually happened. And Cam wasn't wanting to hear that shit. He was saying, no, man, no. And Duck was saying, yeah, how you going to tell me when I was in it? Or did somebody tell you this? And if it wasn't the person that was actually in it, wouldn't you want to hear it from the horse's mouth? And one word led to the other, and them they was dragging each other. And Duck told Cam that he snorted the C, and he was saying that Nurse K is the one that told him that he snorted C. And I was saying, what? And they was going back and forth, and I don't know if Duck left or if Cam threw him out the panel. And so that's when Duck went over there and went live and started dragging Cam. And I was saying, what? And they was somewhere else after that, and they got into it again. I'm trying to think, was it at Vince? So I be going so many places on YouTube. But, it seemed like when one see the other one on the panel, they come and get on the panel since they had their look, their argument the other day. Now, like when they see each other out on the streets, they bumping heads. Because, either he'll hit the panel or either Cam will hit the panel. Okay? And confront the other one. I don't know why everybody on my boo Doug. And it's taking everything in me not to jump in. But I know he's a young man, and I'm not going to say he hoish, but I know women be after him. But I know my role. I stay still. Okay. Now I was running around YouTube, and I think this was at Lemons one night that I heard that Rick Reed had dropped Lovely Love off of his panel. And I heard it was because she was starting to talk about Ness Child, which I don't see nothing wrong with that. Rick Reed might not have wanted her doing that on his panel. But hell, Rick Reed, sometimes he'll just drop a pure person. He don't give a damn. It's because I'm tired of talking to you. He ain't going to say that. He'll just say bloop and you gone. I've seen him drop a whole panel and keep right on doing what his commentary was. He do it. That's his right. And love, if he told you to shut the fuck up and don't be talking about this child, that's what he meant. And that's why he dropped you. And I don't know if he'll allow you to come back over there and get on his panel again. Because that's Rick Runner type shit. And he don't have panels very often. He don't drop his link very often. So, it is what it is. I'm going to try to catch up on that live so I can see for myself. Was it really because he was dragging their son, I don't know. And then some people in the chat was saying that why he dropped lovely love when he talks about children. It's his panel. He can do what the hell he want to do. Just because he want to do it don't mean everybody come up on his panel. He gonna allow to do what he do. It is what it is. Okay. Let me see what else is. Okay, now I'm at Lemons. Lemon on his lap. Malik was on the panel. Brooke, Snoop, Binary, Ness, Octavius, Dory, Tracy, Rick Reed, Beans and Cornbread, Sour Patch, Two Peas, and Beans. Now, it might have been some other people up there, but them the ones that I kept track of. Okay, now it started out, Lemon, he asked Octavius, hey man, have you been dragging me? Because word in the people coming and telling me, you've been over there dragging me. And so Octavius saying no, that I was dragging Ken, and I throwed you in for like, cherry on top. But I didn't mean, I ain't got no problem with you. It wasn't like I throwed you in it, but it ain't no problem with us. Okay. So Lemon kind of listened to it, and then some other stuff started happening. But every once in a while, Lemon will go back to that. Octavius, don't get out the panel yet. I want to be clear about if you was dragging me or not. I don't know if he ever got a answer that he was satisfied with, because like I was red balling through the live, but that was the main gist of them two. He said that now Octavius said that he was dragging Ken because Ken talks about children sexually. And then Binary, every time people talk on Lemon panel, if he's on the panel, and there's other panels that he be on, before the person can answer, he'll butt in and say stuff. Like if you ask a Lemon something and Binary on the panel, he'll say, no, I don't know. Like answer for Lemon. And that get on a lot of people's nerves. Or when people up there trying to get to the problem of the solution to the problem, he'll have input. When he just need to sit there and let this shit play out. Okay? Because different people telling him to shut up because he kept doing it the whole video. Well, Binary said that Ken had got, because Octavius had brought up Ken, okay? Well, Binary bumped in and he was saying that Ken got, wait a minute. He said Ken got mad at him because he shared out Audio's video. I guess Audio was dragging Ken because they've been into it. I don't know. But that's what he said, that Ken had got mad at him. Now I don't get that, because to me, like when I'm sharing a video, like sometimes I share a video for it come, if they got it like an upcoming video, I'll go in and just sometimes if I click on it and then I'll share it. I don't know what this video gonna be about. Sometimes I share it when I get in there, when I first hit in the live, while the introduction is being done, while they playing music. The most recent, they play music a lot before they're live, actually start. And see, I don't share them, but I don't know what they gonna talk about. And I don't know why people get mad at somebody for sharing somebody else's video. Even if they was getting talked about, so damn what? To me, that's being just anal. And then he also got mad at Ken. Ken also got mad at him because he because Audio made a diss song on Ken. He also made one on Jay Dunn. Uh, he also made one on Duke Farrow. So how you gonna get mad at everybody that shared audio them diss songs? That's crazy. And this, people might be sharing them just trying to help him out, get other more subscribers. I don't know why these people do what they do. But like if I go over to his channel, if I'm there when he's live, I'll probably share it. But like when a lot of times with audio live, I'll be over in the Mo 3 beef sector. And some of their lives go for hours and hours and hours. Sometimes them lives, they might be 8 or 9 hours, but the whole 8 or 9 hours is lit. And I just don't get to come back over here to, see what's going on in the beef sector. So, it is what it is. Now audio, they say, I think over at Pizarro's, now I haven't seen this because like I said, I got to catch up. Audio bodied Duke Farrow over there. I heard that. Because y'all know Duke be over here running around in the beef sector. So when you hang around over here, sooner or later, they going to get your ass. Well, audio got Duke over there. I don't know what they got into it about. I wasn't there, but I'm going to watch it because I want to see what led up to them getting into it because they don't really know each other. And then like Otto, like I say, he kind of hot-headed. Like when the guys try to tell him, when they was trying to tell him how the beef sector is and all of this, he wasn't wanting to hear that, like in the beginning when he first started coming over here, over at Lemons, when the men was coming up there trying to tell him, how to maneuver through the beef sector more easier. He wasn't wanting to hear that. He was saying, I want all the smoke and you can't tell me. I've been a content creator for a long time, but moving around these different sectors, people act different in these sectors. What might be cool over there may not be cool over here. But he wasn't wanting to hear no advice. He figured out that these old folks over here, because they tried to get him, people was telling him you might fit over in the Mo 3 beef sector better. People have been telling them that from the beef sector, that you might not be able to handle it. And them people are more your age, because they're younger people over there. But it's people older over there too. But 80% of the people are younger than the people over here. But he wants to be over here. But one of these days he might decide to go over to the Mo 3B sector. I don't know. But a lot of times over here, when new people come over here in the B sector, observing, and they try to go to the Mo 3 sector, they don't fit in so well. Whatever sector you go to on YouTube, if you new to the area, they are gonna they're gonna keep an eye on you. And it depends on how you treat the people that's in these sectors. It's not just the beef sector, not just the Mo 3 beef sector, any sector. Going in as a newbie, it's good to observe the shit. See what the hell going on before jumping in. Like he did when he came to the beef sector. And then he come there saying he want all the smoke. Where he gonna get it? From the people that heard that come out of his mouth, that's in the beef sector. Any chance, if they want to confront him, they're gonna always remember that. He wanted all the smoke. He been doxxed. He said he'd been doxxed, but when they doxxed him, then you was whining like, oh. When you get drunk, whining like, oh. Well, the beef sector ain't for that whining shit. And you lose all kind of respect in the beef sector. Whine. But that's any damn self. That ain't nobody want to hear no grown ass person whining. Figure the shit out. Okay? Because the people try to help you. The men try to, hey brother, this is what you need to do. He didn't want to hear that shit. Well, the women, that's not the women place to tell you. So you on your own. Okay? And they ain't got you good yet. Okay? Okay. Let's see. Now, Lemon did say that audio was a flip flop. Now, see, I don't know if he a flip flop because I haven't been over here to see him flip flop. So I don't know. But Lemon seemed to think he a flip flopper. And I'll have to kind of listen out on what other people feel about him. Is he a flip flopper in the beef sector or is he not a flip flopper? Okay. But hell, it's a lot of flip floppers. Okay. And Ness was on the panel. And she stayed a long time. And she still do that same bullshitting. She still be up on the panel and calling, cussing the goddamn chat out. But one thing I can say about her, she don't say block them no more. I ain't heard her tell Lemon, you know how she used to tell Lemon to block or tell her his minds to block people that's in the chat. She didn't do that one time, and I was really surprised. But she was digging at people in the chat. So she haven't gotten over that, gotten over doing that yet. She also said that Pizarro want to FUCK Duke Pharaoh. And I said, what? Now that's that's tell lies. And but I'm not gonna say I'm not putting that on Pizarro. That's what Ness said on Lemon's panel, child. And she also told Lemon that Audio and her, which is Ness, they needed like protection when they come over the limits. Protection from, like J Don, you know. And then somebody had said something about heat in the chat. And she said, everybody know that this heat, Ussy, belonged to her. And this heat have never been with a man. And they say that anytime that she want to be with this heat, she will be. And ain't nobody else gonna get that but her. She say that Ussy is hers. Child. And she drugged J Don. And she said J Don life was a failure. Okay. All right. Now, Kiki, Octavia said on Lemons, because I was trying to think of where he said this at. He said that him and Kiki wasn't together. And I was like, I know they've been having problems. I haven't seen it, but I've heard out in the YouTube land that they had been, having recent problems. The way he was talking, they broke up. That she mad. No, he was saying stuff like how she be on panels flirting with other people, like guys and this and that, which allegedly I heard that Kiki drinking again. And see, she might be getting flirty on the panels because she drunk. I don't know. Because some women do flirt more when they drinking. Or she might, I don't know. But on Teresa's, when Teresa was alive that I didn't get to finish, people were telling her about her behavior over at Pizarro. That she was flirting with Audio, saying stuff to him, and she was like blushing and laughing and no, I didn't say that and all that kind of shit. Okay. So evidently Octavius has seen her being flirty over there at Pizarro's and other places with these men. And I was, I don't know if it was Lemons. Oh, Ness was start talking to Octavius about him and Kiki relationship. And she was saying that I know with women that are interested in you. And Octavius was saying, oh yeah, hook me up. He was like that. And she was saying, no, I ain't gonna do that because you and Kiki might wind up being back together. And honey, Octavius was wanting to, he was wanting to know who the hell these other ladies are, child. Kiki, girl, if you want that man, you better quit acting a goddamn fool. You done already told YouTube how big his dick is. And them women in that sector that y'all was that, how them whores was after him. Now he hanging around over there at Lemons. Women they know already. You say he got a big thing and all of that. It's whores and all kind of stuff is gonna be after that man. And he also said that he had lost over 20 pounds. Okay. So I don't know what's gonna happen between those two. But like I said, women are gonna forever be after him because you done messed up when you was drunk that time, talking about his thing was too big. And that's why you didn't like to get him none and all of that foolishness. So from now, you bought that on yourself. Don't be getting mad at him because women trying to get to him. Be mad at your damn self because you the one said he had a big old thing. Girlfriend. I would have never said that. Okay. And that's another thing. That's when Audio said that his loyalty was to Ness that was over there at Lemons. No, he said that at Pizarro's. He said he was going to always be loyal to Ness. And then Lemons said something about him saying, pledge his loyalty to Audio. And that's why when I seen Tracy live, when he said that, she was saying that said for her not to hit his panel no more. I want, if Tracy dismissed, I want her to be aware. Tracy, he's loyal to Ness. And you don't like Ness, and you know how you feel about people talking to the ops. You are Ness ops. He's her minion. Okay? So y'all gonna get into it, before it's all over. Because you know how Ness minions are. So get ready. Okay? And this was the damnest thing that happened. And I don't know how the hell this happened. Lemon and 2Ps got into it real bad. I mean, it was awful. Lemon wound up throwing 2Ps off his panel. I mean, they was having a cussing fit. And Lemon was telling her, you'll call me daddy. I'm your daddy. And he was just saying stuff like that. And talking about how he'll drag her ass. And she was saying, motherfucker, who you think you talking to? Motherfucker. And I was like, oh my God. And Rick Reed, you get a hand bump from me because you did everything you could to de-escalate that. It was in vain. I hate that. Because I know you didn't want to see that because you were saying that's one of your main supporters, man. And how long y'all been cool? They go back to Sir King days. Lemon, Don't disrespect your day ones in front of like 600 people that y'all be in Discord together. Y'all could have talked about that shit in Discord when it ain't but about 10 people in there. It's embarrassing. Like she one of your moderators. She a person that was cool with you before you got a channel. And that was like disrespectful what you was doing to her. It was very offensive. And she said that you got it mixed up. The situation that you was cussing her out about did not happen on YouTube. It happened in Discord. And she was just trying to say, no, it didn't happen on YouTube. It happened in Discord. And you're a motherfucking lie. And this and that. And Lemon, people were flooding the chat saying it didn't happen on YouTube, Lemon. This didn't happen on your panel. This didn't happen on nobody else's panel. It didn't happen on YouTube. People that was in the Discord where it happened at was putting that in the chat. But you cussed that lady out really bad. And those sorries that you be giving, the crying, I'm sorry, I'm under a lot of pressure, it's not gonna happen again. People gonna get tired of this shit because they do not need to be, they don't want to be disrespected like that. And like 2P said, I'm old enough to be your mother. Nothing was getting through to you. It was bad. And like I said, Rick Reed tried his best to salvage the shit for you. But you wasn't wanting to hear nothing. You was still going off after you throw the woman off the stage. You was still going off. Cornbread, beans and cornbread got up there. But you disrespected beans and cornbread before. You disrespected Lolo before. I mean, cuss him out like dog. It don't take that to be a content creator. You need to tighten it up, baby. And then you got your people that's your core support that you turning against, and then you do I'm sorry thing. Iron wear out, and people don't have to take that kind of treatment. People don't have to take that kind of treatment and give you their money. People don't have to take that kind of treatment and stay in your lives. It's just, it is what it is. And it don't look good. It don't, that's look ugly. When you feel yourself getting that mad, you need to stop your life. And then the way I found out about you disrespecting 2Ps like that, because I do check into Discord, you know, I want to see if y'all live or not. I might come in there for a minute and I'll go back out. Well, I went into Discord the other night after your live because I missed your live. I had to red ball it because of the information that I was told in the Discord. They were sitting there waiting on you so y'all can get to the bottom of the issue, and you didn't come. You left and didn't come back. And I was on Discord with some people that was upset about it. And we sit there and they, I just wanted to see what was going on. And they were telling me different things that happened on your live, how you disrespected 2Ps, how you supposed to come over there and all of that. And when I left there about, I think it was about 8 o'clock that morning, 7 or 8. You never did come back. So they really was upset with you, and they said that, every time that y'all try to talk out problems, you won't stay in the Discord with them. You run off. And when they go out to look for you, they see you up on different panels. You don't get them the respect to try to get to the bottom of the problem of why you so angry that you will run out of this Discord and get on other panels and talk about how you bodied them and how did you talk to them in Discord. But hell, after what you did on YouTube, honey, the way you've been going off, you don't give a damn. You didn't give them the courtesy to try to settle it in Discord. You want to cuss them out on your goddamn panel. And that is ugly. But like I said, being a mod, it's not a paying position. The people doing it because they support you. Okay, that's all I got to say on that. Oh, and then when I went to his live to look at that part that happened with him and um Two Peas, Beans got up there, tried to escalate Lemon, uh Beans and cornbread. It was several ladies got up there to try to calm him down. He didn't want to hear that shit. Period. You know, he didn't want to hear it at all. He wasn't listening to nobody. When Rick listened to Rick Reed, when this and Rick Reed was so patient and he was trying his damnedest. And it was like hitting a brick wall. He wasn't want to hear what Beans had to say. He wasn't want to hear what Beans and cornbread was. He didn't want to hear no reason. He had made his mind up, you know. Um, I, I don't know. Now I heard at Tracy's the lab that she did that I didn't finish. She said I think he's gonna be off. Them was gonna be off to Monday. So I guess some kind. I don't know if he put it on the community wall or what, but he might need a couple of days off, and then he might not need to do them long lives. Okay, you doing long lives. Then you going to Discord. Then you be hitting panels. Your body's is getting tired. You expecting too much out of yourself. You're pushing yourself too hard. You know, maybe if you want to do the longer live, stop hitting the panels, or slack up on how many panels you hit a day and how long you stay on it. Because you got your regular life, and then things you're doing everyday life, and you're not getting your proper rest. Sometimes people get cranky when they tired. And you might be one of them kind of people that get cranky. Anything get on your nerve. Because you start out tonight good. But a lot of times before the end of your life, they get really nasty. It might, I'm not saying nothing about your drinking. Like I said, I'm going to say you're tired. Because I know you hear about the drinking enough. I'm going to say you're tired. It's like some kids, you might be like some of these little kids. They get cranky when they get tired. They cry and raise hell when they get tired, but don't want to go to sleep. See? And that's the kind of feeling that I'm getting. And plus, like I say, you like to have a little wine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You're grown. You can drink all you want to drink. But, like I said, I'm blaming it on you being tired. And sometimes when people get tired, they get cranky. And you might be one of them people. So try to cut back on something, so you'll have more me time instead of all this YouTube time with the long lives and hitting the panels and going to Discord and all of that. It might be just too much for you. Cut back on some of the shit. And maybe let's just do that, and let's see if that stop you from when you get into the end of the live that you get mad. And if you look at the end of some of your lives, just look at the end of some of your lives, like the last hour. You look at them. And you see for yourself what I'm saying is not a lie. So you can see it when you ain't got nothing else to do. Look at the end of your life. Look at like 5 of them and see, is that the limit that you normally are? Okay. Okay. Let me see what else happened. And then another thing, when Two Piece was okay, Two Piece had dropped her, and corn beans and cornbread came up, to try to talk to him, and then he start turn against her, and he was talking about he was gonna buy the like two of them, like beans and cornbread and Two Piece, but beans didn't bite. She just shut down. Really, she wouldn't didn't really respond. So he bagged back. And I like that. And then beans and cornbread, after she just sit there for a while until he settled down some, then she dropped off the panel. So I thought she handled that good, because sometimes when a person is like at this angry state, they're striking out, sometimes it's best to zip it, you know. Because when Tracy was with Rob that time and he was acting up with, acting a big fool and stuff, you remember she zipped it. She wouldn't say nothing, because she said she had experience with people that had drink before, like guys that she had dated, an alcoholic. And she said that she learned that's how she coped with that. Okay? Because see me, I be, you rowdy, I be rowdy. But Tracy handled it different, and that's the way to me she should have handled Rob, is the way she did. Just shut down. But see, I would have shut down and then I would have got the fuck out of there. But Tracy handled it the way she wanted to handle that situation. You know, it depends on who the person is, on how they act and how they handle different situations. Because we all different. Okay? I'm just trying to tell them maybe a solution to where he don't be so nasty sometimes with the people that supposedly are, cool with him. And that way you don't have to keep doing the I'm sorry thing. Because like I said, you can only, I'm sorry only works so many times. Okay. And then Malik was up there, and fentanyl came up and perks and all of that and dealer, and I was saying, what the hell? So I didn't really get a. And then he was telling Davin some stuff about pills, and I'm talking about the ones you take, not that guy pills. And Brooke, she started dragging Davin, which Davin was in the chat, and Brooke drugged Snoop, and Snoop was dragging her ass back. They was into it back and forth on the panel, and allegedly, Pills chose Chat Rep over Snoop. Now I heard that out here in the YouTube sphere somewhere. Now I don't know, you know, I don't know on that, because a lot of these relationship stuff I don't really care for, and Malik, he drug Davin, and I don't know why Davin name is coming up all of a sudden. Where they get into it at out in the YouTube sphere, you know? Okay, I'm through with Lemon. Okay, now I'm at Ducks. He had a hell of a laugh, because see, like I said, I've been out for here for a couple of days, so I'm going backwards. Okay, So Duck had a live, and it was a good live. Um, H Town, which is Isha husband, he was on the panel, and he talked and he talked and he talked and he talked. Well, the captain was in the chat, and the Isha husband, the later the night got, the worse he was dragging the captain. But the captain stayed in the chat, and he was just typing stuff back at H Town. And H Town, he said that the captain was supposed to have come to Texas for his birthday. And he said that his birthday is either the 31st or the 32nd of January. Y'all are holler. Do you hear me? He said that the captain's birthday is January the 31st or the 32nd. Oh my God. January ain't none of our months got no 32 days. Shit. And then they were laughing about that. And then he also said, because he was talking about how we were going to kick the captain ass whenever he see him. He also, because the captain said he was going to change his content. Like when he come back, he going to be going, because he said, I'm thinking that he being called to preach and he's fighting against it. Okay. That's what I feel. But it might be he just deciding to get to turn himself over to the Lord, and I'm forgive me for everything. It might be just I'm getting ready to be in church. But I feel like he being called, because a lot of times people, when they being called, they have a lot of doubt in their mind before they accept that this is what I'm gonna do. And to me, his conversations, that's what they sound like to me, because I've seen a lot of people that, before they actually, you know, that this is what I'm gonna do, they have it's like a tug of war. Do I want to do this or don't I want to do this? Do I want to, all kind of things be going through their minds. And it seemed like he's going through that to me. Okay. And I think it's like his granddaddy was a preacher. So he's like, raised up in the church and stuff. And to me, that's what it feels like he's going through. But I might be wrong. Well, H-Town know that he's going through this struggle, and he know his granddaddy was a preacher. He was raised in church. So H-Town know as much information that he can get on the captain. Well, he said that when he see Brandon, the captain, he was gonna knock the God out of him. Oh my God. I ain't never heard nobody say they're gonna knock the God out of somebody. That man has so many sayings the other night. I hate I didn't write everything down to tell y'all, but them the two that I just kept laughing about. I mean, the whole time he was up there on the panel at Ducks, he had my belly hurting. Do you hear me? But I just put the main one, the 31st and the 32nd of being the man's birthday, and I also put down him say he was gonna knock the God out of the captain. And child, I don't know what happened. Why come Isha wound up on the panel? Oh my God. Isha wound up on the panel. I think her husband, I don't know. Well, some kind of way she wound up on the panel with her husband. And as soon as Isha hit the panel, now H-Down been up here dragging uh the captain for 3 or 4 hours, and he never would hit the panel. But as soon as Isha hit that damn panel, he hit the panel and go say, "What's up, baby?" Oh my God. He been The captain, I hope that man don't never see you. He gonna beat you down, Captain. You play too much. You need to leave that shit alone. Leave Isha alone. Leave her husband alone. Oh my God. He was, and the captain come to find out, I told you he had went to Texas and he hooked up with Big Baby and Jackie, and doing a little couple of things, his grandmama, his brothers or whatever. He was moving around a little bit. Well, it was a secret that he was in Texas until he came live and showed him with Big Baby them. And then the other night, because Coolin, I heard her say something about, that gas station, because the captain did a short, and I got the notification. He said that he was in a tornado. He was like in the inside of a convenience store or a gas station. And I mean, it was raining cats and dogs, and that wind was blowing out. You could see shit flying through there and all of that. And he was saying, hey, y'all, pray for me. I'm in the middle of a tornado. And then Coolin, because you know how these people are so nosy, Coolin looked to see the Seattle weather, and there wasn't no tornadoes in Seattle. And I think some kind of ways, maybe she rewound the video or whatever. She figured out where he was at in Texas, where this tornado was at. The exact gas station and everything. But by the time it came back on, we got to circle around on YouTube, he was already headed back home, Seattle. But you see how people can kind of, that like, it's not doxing, but I'm just saying, if you put shit on YouTube, somebody might take the time to find out where it's at. And that's what Coolin did. And come to find out, he was at that place, that service station, and the Greyhound bus place is right there. Wherever this was in Texas. Child, ain't that something? Okay. And Captain, he, like I said, he was up there. He like I said, the H-Town had drugged him for hours, and he was doing his smart stuff back H-Town, and he never would get on the panel because H-Town was begging him to get up there. But honey, as soon as Isha hit that damn panel, there his ass came. Hey, baby. And then when I don't know why even he should hit the panel, but that ain't none of my business. But that's just, it is what it is. But Captain, I hope that man don't never see you. He gonna tear your ass up. He gonna get you. All right. And then he was telling Captain, tell me where you at. I'll fly there now. Because he can get them passes and stuff from his wife, Isha. So he can fly anywhere. But the captain, honey, he wasn't thinking about H-Town. He wanted to talk to Isha. Okay. Now I'm through with that. Now I was at Buddy Lee's the other day on Friday. He do the Tuesday, Turn Up Tuesday, and he do the Fuck Shit Friday show. He only do 2 shows a week. Well, he's making some changes to his channel. Now he's still gonna have the people, you can drag each other back and forth and all of that, but he's only gonna leave those lives up for a brief period of time, and those lives are gonna be gone from his channel. He's trying to clean up his channel because he's trying to do other business ventures. And he said, if you don't want to go along for the ride, to unsubscribe and all of that, okay? But he's trying to, because he's going to start going on TikTok. He's already over there, but he's, going to start applying himself over there. And like I said, he applying himself over here on YouTube as far as growing his channel, doing things like that. Now, I don't know if he's going to try to monetize, because he have not, as far as I know, he ain't never been monetized. Now I don't know if he's trying to clean it up where he can do that or what is, what all is involved in it. And there's nothing wrong with change. Nothing wrong at all. You know. So kudos. Hope it works out good for him. And he's gonna be active on Instagram. I think that's the main place he's gonna be at Instagram. Cause he say he do be over there, but he's gonna apply himself more. Take it serious. Okay. Now I'm through with that. Now I'm going to the captain. Now the captain, he did a live like the Button Voyage show that he was not gonna be on YouTube with this bullshit anymore. Well, honey, I got a notification that he had an upcoming video. And I was saying, what? Well, honey, that's when he spilled the beans about. That's when everything came out about Duck and Nurse K and all of that, okay? It was the biggest damn mess, okay? Everybody was going live on it. Nurse Cree, which is Nurse K, she was going live. I was over there, and I think Meek had a live schedule for after the captain, and the duck man. It was just a mess, okay. And so the captain had just broke the champagne bottle. He just wanted everything to just explode on the streets as far as Duck and the Nurse K episode when they hooked up in Arkansas. That's when everybody, if for real, this is what happened and this is who it was. It wasn't no more guessing. Okay? No. Wait a minute, let me see. And that's when it came out that Nurse K had drove the 3 hours, and that when they hooked up physically, it just was like 3 minutes. And then she had to drive back home 3 hours. So she drove 6 hours for less than 30 minutes of pleasure. I'll give it a 30, but it wasn't nowhere near 30 from what they saying. Okay? I'm through with that. Because I discussed that, on other, further up earlier in the live. Okay, now this is Bimp. Now the commentary I did on Bimp earlier, that was from his last show, what's tonight. Last night. This is from a couple of nights ago. Bimp had went live, and Wu had jumped up there. She got bought down. 100K got bought down. He got bought back up, and he got bought back down. Sean 46 got bought down. Mills got bought down, and Vato got bought down. Wait a minute. Let me move this up. Trying to get through with this SHIT, y'all. Okay. Duck and Mink was into it, and they were still talking about his DICK. Okay. Duck was into it with Vato, Emil's, Trapping and Captain, and Mink. They was dragging each other. Um, and then they were saying that somebody was, let me see what that, Carly was saying that Chanel had her baby 4 months early, But Chanel did say that was a lie. I went to Chanel's to see what was going on with that. And she have had her baby. It's a little girl. She was full term. She says she's not going to show the baby on YouTube. And I think that's a good idea. It's her baby. She can do what the hell she want. Okay? I ain't got no problem with that. And on that lie, Bimp was a good lie. But when Bimp had to take it down because CEO showed himself loading a gun, and then he turned the camera off, but then he wound up turning the camera back on, and he was showing the gun again. And so Duck and other people was letting Bimp know that the CEO had brandished a weapon on there and all of this, and he took that lab down. It's gone bye-bye. Okay. Chanel had went live, and she said, she was just talking about telling about the baby being full term. She had a little girl and all of this. She was explaining that. And her husband, you could hear him in the background. He was saying stuff. And but he, it wasn't rowdy or anything. And then China hit the link. And she was saying that she didn't know why come Mink and Book and Not On My Watch was coming at her the way they doing. She said the shit come out of nowhere. And so they've been making lives on each other, especially on that Not On My Watch. She said she don't know what they're going on. And then Gina was saying that she's gonna get her brother disbarred because he's an attorney. He be on YouTube sometime over there, Miss Parker, because she do crime, like the murder cases that be, that she have interest in. And he helped her do research, so she don't be getting cease and desist, and just to help her because he's a criminal lawyer, and I guess he had a time to, and he cool with he's cool with Miss Parker, and he helped her do research and stuff for her stories that she reporting on. He might have more information than she have. So I don't see anything wrong with that. But Gina is saying that she's gonna try to get him disbarred, but it's just a lot of hot air because I'm sure he's not gonna do anything to lose his license. It ain't like you can just call and say, they have to have proof or you doing something wrong. It ain't just you call down there, and he lose his job. It ain't like that. Okay. And they are like a committee, when they disbar you. It ain't like this one lawyer say, "Oh, you disbarred." No, it ain't like that. They investigate and all of that. But Gina just be shooting hot air. And some reason, Chanel and TT been into it, and she said that TT need to clean up her nasty house. Now I don't know if I ain't never seen her house. As far as I've seen in Transparent Talk house, like sometimes when she would be live, sometimes my husband would be sitting on a bar stool, eating. And it seemed like it's clean to me. Now I don't know. But Chanel was saying our baseballs was dirty. She was saying all that kind of stuff. I don't know nothing about that. But see, people, the people drag how they gonna drag. I'm just telling y'all what she said. And she was calling TT a old hoe and that she ought to be shaming herself for dating that young guy, which ain't nothing wrong with dating a younger guy or an older woman. And they know, men date younger women all the time. So I ain't got no problem with that. And if he helping her if he making her happy, that's the main thing that happened. That's the main thing. As long as he making her happy. And then she was telling TT Book, Not On My Watch, Mink. She was saying, let the flagging games begin. You know, so she's finna start flagging if she can find out. On these channels, those that I just named, if they doing something wrong and if she can flag it, that's what she gonna do because she got a flagging team. Okay, and she said, "Let's rock and roll." And she also said that TT be walking around in a thong that's too big, trying to get enough cash apps to buy her some perks. Now I don't know how much perks cost. I don't know if that girl on perks, but they have, it do be rumors out on these streets on allegations of people doing pills, people doing other kind of drugs and all of that. And a lot of people smoke marijuana on here because we see them smoke marijuana, and they say that's what they doing. And but we see people drinking on here, or we hear the effects of the drinking, and see the effects. So people do a lot of shit. If it floats your boat, that's all. More power to you. Everybody grown. Uh, and she was DG had been. She said DG allegedly he been dragging her, and so she was dragging him, and she was saying that he had like allegedly one of his baby mother OD'd, and he didn't get her no help, and she passed. I don't know nothing about that. I'm just saying what Chanel said, and she said that she was out for his head too. Uh, and Chanel, I mean, China also said that she don't know why come Book is coming at her like he's coming at her. She say that they have text message each other, but like as far as talking on the phone or anything like that, they have not ever did that. And she said she don't understand why he's saying that she said stuff against Chanel and her baby and stuff because she said that they had never discussed anything like that. And she also told Chanel that she was getting ready to send her the thread when her and Book used to talk, you know, back and forth. She said she was gonna send her the thread to show that they did never discussed her. Well, she did send Chanel the thread, and when Chanel read it, she told Book, she said, "You are sick in the head. How could you make up shit like that? Ain't none you have been saying is true concerning me or my husband. And why the hell you making up these kind of stories and lying like China said it?" She said didn't neither one of them talk about her when they was talking back and forth on their text. She said her name was never even in that. Why would he make up some shit like that on her? She don't know. And she was dragging him. Okay. And she was also saying the Book he like to shoot up drugs and all of this. I don't know nothing about that, but they do say he do drugs. I don't know because I ain't never been his channel. I don't know that, but a lot of people over in the Mo 3 beef sector, they say he a drug addict. But as far as me knowing, I don't, I don't know. But that Chanel did bring that up on her channel. And that's it for that. Okay, now Tracy had went live. Now this a couple of days ago. She was still dragging Passer, and she was saying that she's going to St. Louis to see her boo, and she going on May the 30th. That's the date. Because I earlier in the lab I was saying I didn't know if it was the 30th or the 31st. Well, here on my notes, I'm seeing it's the 30th. And she was still dragging Janet. And then I swung back and looked at Not on My Watch. I didn't watch her whole live, but what she was saying is that she did not know China, and she wanted to know why China been talking about her in book. Like I said, I like to get both sides of the story. Now, China saying they messing with her, but not on my watch saying her and Booker ain't been messing with her. You know, she don't know what China talking about. She wanted to be left alone. I left there and I went to Rick Reed's, and on this live he was still dragging Heidi. And that's all I got on that part. Um, and Big Baby, I went by her live, one of her lives, and she was taking mod sticks, and she was explaining like as people was coming in, if you in here and you ain't in blue no more, it's because you're not a mod no more. you know. And she said that the reason that she was taking those actions was because a lot of her moms, they don't never be in her life. But she see them moving around all over YouTube. And she said that she really didn't need them if they weren't going to be over there to support her, which I understand that. And then I put on here, Mink hit the link. Now, what happened with them two, I don't know because I didn't stay long. Some came up and I had to leave. So that's all I have on that. I'm thank you for guys for listening to me, you know, on this live, and that's all I got. And I'm gonna be going back and looking at some lives that I missed. Um, and like I said, tomorrow will be the first day of Diddy trial. They're gonna be doing the jury selection. So that's gonna be going on. So I'll let you guys know, more about how that's going. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, Dion Filter Murphy. Let's see who else, if anybody else came in. But that's all the commentary. Hey, Candor. I ain't seen you in a while. Hey, Sexy Black. Make sure I speak to everybody for I head out of here, child. Let's go open my gifts to my daughter, Bobby. And put some clothes on, child. Get myself ready for my birthday day. Hey, Octavius. Octavius, are you and Kiki? Are y'all together or are y'all not together? Hey, Sherry Berry. Girl, you been having me laughing. Sherry Berry, you be having me laughing. I enjoy you. Hey, Sugar Shay. Hey, Vibrant. Let's see. Hey, Vanchella. Hey, well informed. I think I spoke to you, Nisi, but if I didn't, hey, child. Hey, 80s baby. Hey, Rudy. Hey, Miss Make It Make Sense. Thank y'all for joining me today, child. Hey, Big Brenda. Hey, Sarah. And y'all, thank you for the happy birthday wishes. Okay, trying to make sure I spoke to everybody. Hey, Mama Boo. Mama Boo. Hey, honey. Oh, another thing, I was over at Room Shakers the other day, and she was saying that Yaya had drug Nika, Bree, and Pizza. And I was saying, well, she really don't, she'll say a couple of things and then she won't say no more. I say, and she said, no, she drugged them. And I said, what? And so, honey, I was sitting up there and Room Shaker played it. Yaya drug to the gods. Do you hear me? I ain't never heard her drag. Not like that. She'll say a couple of things, but honey, she was throwing some blows. Do you hear me? And I don't know if they are still into it. I don't know if they responded, but honey, she wasn't nothing nice. That's what I'm gonna say about that. Okay, honey, I didn't know that Yaya could drag like that. But see, she had a lot. She had a lot in. And allegedly now, when she was dragging, she said that Nika had made a lab on her. And I think Brianna had wound up saying something on the live. And evidently Lisa had said something. And she come out shooting. She was shooting a double barrel, honey. She wasn't ooh. She said that she said they can go live for live. And any of you bitches y'all drag me, I'm dragging y'all ass back. I'm gonna fire my live up and I'm gonna drag you. I'm tired of this going on. And I'm she would just let it out. She said she was tired. And she said she's gonna be dragged. That and she's not a dragger. And like I said, she'll say a little bit. She said, "No, I ain't gonna do this." That's the way she have always been. She'll say a couple of things, then she'll shut it out, and then they piss off. Then she'll say a few things. Well, honey, the other day, that shit I heard over there, she would go with both barrels. Do you hear me? She shot that double barrel off. That double barrel shotgun. Okay, so I think people be an easy win and stuff out here. Everybody ain't been made to be played with. Everybody ain't gonna turn another cheek and all that shit. So it is what it is. Let the games begin. I ain't on nobody's side. I'm gonna tell what I heard. And I heard her talking that shit. Okay. And see, I ain't even thought about going over there. Because I sit on Rule Shaker and heard it. Her live. But I will be going over there to see what y'all talking about. I'm gonna go over there and see what Nika talking about so I can go more into detail with you guys. Bizarro. And I also gonna go watch Summer Breeze to see what she was talking about. And that way I'll be able to come back and tell y'all this what this said on her live, this what this said. I can tell y'all just like I do. Because like I said, I ain't got a dog in the fight. But I want to see the goddamn fight. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I ain't got a dog in the fight, but I want to see the fight. Okay. Now, y'all, I'm getting ready to get up out of here because I got to prepare myself for my evening out. You know, to go shake my tail feather for my birthday. Everybody, it's my birthday. Okay. I'm getting ready to go so I can get ready for the big celebration, guys. Ooh, child. Hey, if I go to jail, will y'all bum me out? Ooh, child. I don't want to spend my birthday in jail. Ooh, child. I'll try to be good now. Bye.